Hello, everybody. This is Charles Alvarez, CEO of Cornerstone Growth Solutions. Today, we have a really cool guest, joined today by Darren Darnvorough, and he has actually earned himself some awards that most people can only dream of. So I'm so excited to have you on, Darren. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, man.
Thank you for being here. So I know that you've got quite a bit of experience in the entertainment industry. So I'd just be curious, can you tell us a little bit more about you and your upbringing and how you got to the career that you are in now and what you're currently doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, my origin really was I was born in London in a small town in North London. I got into acting at a pretty young age, as a lot of people do through school and extracurricular. But when I was about 16, 17, I started doing more elaborate local theatre, I guess, and joined a drama class which has an agency attached. And from that, I got my first professional job in a TV commercial for Dr. Pepper. And then I realized at that point, oh, wow, you can earn money for doing this. This is kind of cool. Because of course I knew someone was somewhere, but it wasn't really in my worldview, like from where I'm from and the upbringing I had. And so that at that point it became a sort of career aspiration. I carried on working in TV and film where I could in England whilst I pursued my degree in film. Then I moved to Los Angeles around 2006. So I've lived in LA for 20 years. So I transferred my career to the Hollywood side of things. And all the way along, I've always ran businesses and started business ideas because I thought this acting career is going to be volatile. And I don't want to be that guy that relies on my bar job. I never had a bar job, but I didn't want to get one
Right.
because the way I saw it is any kind of sideline job you had, my friends that did do that, they would always be having to ask somebody's permission to go on an audition, or there'd be always some problem in sorting out their shifts. So I figured if I start my own businesses, that can be something that runs alongside this career. And of course, you can hate that. I love it, and I end up loving it. So now I do it because I want to, not because I have to.
That's phenomenal. So, out of curiosity, you took a very what I would say distinguished and neat path that you did not, you weren't a waiter or working at a, fast food restaurant or something like that. You actually decided to start businesses. So, one of the businesses, obviously, that you started is We Audition. Can you tell me a little bit about that business?
Yeah, absolutely. But before we dive into that, just to be real, I wanna make sure people know I did have odd jobs. I was doing promotional work, brand ambassador stuff, little things here and there. I didn't dive straight into business because my first business actually came out of understanding the sideline jobs. I had an online recruitment company that helped other actors like me find work for as brand
Wow,
ambassadors.
that's cool.
And so I do think it's important to acknowledge that this not necessarily struggle, but the steps it takes to get there. It wasn't just I woke up one day and had a business. But the current business, We Audition, yeah, it's a similar vein, really. It solves a need for what I experienced myself as a performer and other performers experience, which is needing scene partners to read with and needing people to do your auditions with and practice with. So We Audition is a platform and community around the world, a global community of actors that help each other out on their auditions as a marketplace. So we like to say to people that aren't in the industry, it's like ordering an Uber, but ordering an actor on demand through video chat.
That's very cool. So obviously you saw a need in the marketplace for that. Tell me a little bit about the evolution of We Audition and why you chose to open up that business and some of the successes you've had with those actors to get them on a job.
Yeah, so the need started. It's interesting you said I saw a need in the marketplace. We actually created the marketplace, and I don't mean that in an obnoxious way, but
No, I didn't take it as
we had to, we had to have the audacity to create the marketplace of that because it didn't exist. There wasn't a current market for people hiring each other. But what was happening was actors were asking favors of each other. They were asking their parents to do it. They were asking their girlfriend. They were buying somebody a coffee. What the need was having somebody to rehearse your lines with, or what's now known as a self tape, record your audition with, and speak opposite somebody. Traditionally, that was always done in a casting office. So you'd have an appointment and you go into a room and you'd have got your scripts in the mail back in the day before that and by email more recently. And you'd have learned your lines, probably on your own, maybe at your acting class. And then you go and you present your work to the casting director in the room and they read the other lines. Well, once technology got to the stage where we all have a video camera in our pockets, and budget started decreasing. And then COVID, of course, accelerated this. The need became for actors to do their own audition tapes. Now, before we were 5 years ahead of COVID, we started this. But back then, there was a much smaller need because actors that were busy sometimes couldn't make it to the appointment time. So they would send in a tape. And outside of that, even if you did have an appointment, you would rehearse with somebody. So what we did was saw that need was there and said, well, can we put that online in a marketplace? Is there a business model around that? And when my friend posited me the initial idea of this, she's also an actress and a YouTube star at the time. And she had a part-time job and she had this need because she would sometimes get home from her restaurant job at 2 a.m. knowing that she has an audition to learn in the morning that came in at 6 p.m. while she was on her job.
Right.
So she would call her mum in New Zealand and say, "Can you read lines to me?" Because it was the middle of the day there.
Right.
And so we thought, well, this needs to work on demand on a platform. And luckily, I'd built that platform before that I mentioned, the recruitment platform. And I saw my skills there and what I built there is it working in a similar way. I say it's a subscription business, it's a marketplace where we connect people around the world for this task. And as long as we facilitate it with the software in the right way, it'll be a good solution. The next struggle with that is obviously convincing people they need it because they've never, it's not like you're moving someone over from one thing to another. You're introducing a whole new thing to them, saying, this is a thing you never thought you needed, but here it is, and we're going to tell you why it's better.
So I'd love to hear from you. Why is it better? And what are
Mm,
some of the successes you've seen in the marketplace using this platform? Because you're right. Uh, if you leave it up to the actor and they're doing it with their mom in New Zealand, it may not be the most or the best portrayal of their acting abilities. So
correct.
tell us a little bit about how the platform is how it works first and foremost. And number two, what are some of the results you're seeing that you're getting for not only the clients, but also the actors and actresses as well?
Okay, so there's a lot of different successes there, which I'll go through it after I tell you how it works. The
Perfect.
easiest way to explain how it works is as an actor, I go on there and I can browse through a list of currently available actors that have gone on right now to say they're available right now. It's an on-demand platform. So I can pick my partner it could be based upon the character type, it could be based upon the accent, whatever I feel like I need for my scene. I click a button, they get a notification their end that I want to hire them. Again, like an Uber driver would get the ping in their phone, and they jump on a video chat like we're doing now and help me out with my lines. And the software is set up, the video chat software is built by us and set up in such a way that the eye lines are correct for the actors. They can see their scripts on the right side of the screen, things like that. So it's a proprietary piece of software that is built for the actor. Then we have our workout, whatever you want to call it. I can get coaching, I can get accent help, I can get whatever I need from the other person. And then I review and pay them. So there's a review system like an Airbnb, and then the actor on the other side earns some money. And
Gotcha.
they set their own rates.
Okay.
So the first success that I'm most proud of is it's given actors, it's completely created a part-time and in some cases full-time income for actors that they never had before
Wow.
because there was not a marketplace for people paying to read. There were some self-tape studios in person set up where people would pay a fee to go and film that would come with a reader. Maybe you could have hired someone off Craigslist and asked them to do that, but there wasn't a marketplace to exist this. So we've created a sideline income for these actors. Now, from the other part of view, a busy actor, why it's good for them is they might have several auditions in a week, maybe even several a day. So working completely on your own is not great. It's a team sport.
Right.
Finding a friend to do it, you're going to quickly run out of friends if you're asking them for 3, 4 hours a day. So you're spread you and actors would, they'd ask three different people. If you ask your partner, your girlfriend or your boyfriend to do it, they're going to get bored with this. No matter how much they love you, it's not their job.
Right.
Causes a lot of problems in relationships actually, because there can be a level of need from the actor that's not being met by the partner, even though they're trying their best.
Makes sense.
So the best way for a busy person is to make it transactional, and a busy actor is also earning money, so they don't mind paying for the privilege. They want to hire someone like any other coach. You want to hire someone to get the job done, and you want to do it on your schedule. So for me personally, I love doing. I use my own product all the time because I have enough friends that can help me, but I want to do it right now when I'm free in my window of time when I feel my best. You know, so that's really the day to day success. In terms of the other success, like we don't help the actors get jobs, but what we do is give them a platform that helps them do their best work. And every single day we get people either through Instagram or email or tell us in person that they found someone on our site that helped them book the job.
That's great.
Now, you could say that that partner didn't really help them book the job, right? It's still their acting. But what's really interesting is the amount of people that come to us willingly to say that that was a real help to them. Because imagine you're living in some small town somewhere and you don't have an available resource to help you at that level. And suddenly you jump on We Audition and you can read with a working actor in Hollywood. It's like mentorship at a different level.
Right.
And because it's a scene, for me personally, if I'm an actor in that scene, if the other person is, it doesn't matter if the other person is a good actor or not. They're not being judged. I am by the audition. But if they're a good actor, it helps me do my best acting. And
Right.
that's the difference.
Right. Right. So it's not just providing a platform, it's providing a effective platform that allows them to do their best work when they want to, versus like you mentioned, that poor actor or actress that probably got off work at 10 o'clock is probably dead tired, but the only person she knows that can help her at that moment is her mom in New Zealand. So she does it for three to
Right.
4 hours. And like you said, however much her mom loves her, I'm sure that's not something she wants to do with her every week or every day.
Exactly. And also you fall into these other traps of like them giving unhelpful advice and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right. It still is a craft and it's still very specific. And so you want to, you do benefit from it being transactional. That's the thing. So yeah, it's incredibly successful in that way, and we're really proud of that for all those reasons.
Does the platform have some type of a matching algorithm to say, okay, I'm looking for somebody for this specific role, that with these specifics, acting skills, or how does is there any matching that happens? And if so, what does that look like?
It's done more like for one of a better example, a dating website where you
Yeah,
just scour who you feel is interesting.
I see.
You can also filter them by skills and accents.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example of how you might use it. If I have a role and I'm looking for my best friend, road trip buddy, college buddy, I might just look at who I think in my head fits the role best. Because remember, we're not casting them. I'm
Right.
just using them to bounce off of.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if they're 100% the right person. It matters that I as the actor believe who I'm reading with. Now, of course, I could do that with somebody's mum. That's fine. But I may as well get the guy that's best suited to the other character for my own sake. The other way you would filter it is by probably accent or the show. So if I'm auditioning for a role in NCIS, it's going to be really helpful if I can chat to somebody that's been on the show
Right.
because they might be able to coach me in a certain way. Say, hey, you're doing this really great, but this show's more snappy. I think you should pick up your pace. That's very helpful. Or if I'm doing a Texan accent, for instance, I will run it. I audition a lot for the Yellowstone universe. And so when, there's a lot of spin-offs to that show, when I have an audition for that kind of show, I pick somebody from that region and be like, hey, please pick me up on my accent. If I'm going wrong, please tell me I'm going wrong. So there's all those ways, but we don't have any automatic matching. We really leave it up to the actor to decide who they want to pick from the available people on demand as well.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Yellowstone. What are some of the other notable projects that if somebody's listening to this, say, hey, what experience, what credibility does this person have? And maybe you can even talk about the prestigious award that you won. Tell us a little bit about, a lot of people that I know in the entertainment industry are like, look, I don't want a non-entertainment person telling me, or creating a platform for me that knows nothing about my business. Clearly, you've been in this business for a long time, but why do you think you are uniquely qualified to be able to provide this platform to actors to find jobs?
That's a really fair question. And also a lot of actors think this about a lot of businesses we're asked to patronize. The cleanest answer is I've got 25 years in the business. So is my co-founder. My co-founder's an actor as well. And he's also the CTO and he has 25 years in web development as well.
Wow.
I am not a coder, I'm not a developer, but I've also ran several web-based companies from scratch, founded them. And so I think we were uniquely positioned with our interest in business and web development and also our acting ability. In terms of my experience, I've worked pretty much for every single TV network and every major streaming network for 25 years. I've got credits on all of the networks and top shows from Two Broke Girls, sitcom wise, to dramas like MacGyver and Magnum PI, HBO shows like True Blood. I've done feature films for Hallmark Channel. My business partner was in massive feature films like Gran Turismo. So we've had experience from indie sets to studio sets to we've seen a whole widespread across the industry. Now that's not to say that I'm the most experienced person out there either. There are many, many of our customers that are way more experienced than me, but I do have a good overview of the whole industry in many ways. I've also been a producer. I've also done casting. We attend every major film festival in the world every year. Cannes, Sundance, Toronto. We throw events there. We throw panels there. And so we have a wide network in the industry. So it's interesting because a couple of years ago, I sort of got over my imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And it's very easy in this industry to compare yourself against other people because somebody has always done more work than you,
Right.
right? Someone's always done a better TV show than you, or a longer TV show, or a bigger film, or whatever. And it was only after we had a period where we were doing panels at all the film festivals, and I was speaking to so many agents and casting directors. I went around the world went to like 30 different cities, I think, in 18 different countries. And I threw an event for actors, agents, and casting directors in each city. And after that, I thought, you know what my unique proposition is here? I haven't done more work than any actor out there, but I probably, and you can't quantify this, but I bet I have spoken to more agents, casting directors, and producers than the average actor.
Yeah.
And that gives me their knowledge by osmosis, right? So when I say something, when I am interviewed on something, I'm not coming from only my own thoughts. I'm coming from the collective thoughts of literally hundreds of agents, managers, and casting directors around the world and what they've told me in one-to-one meetings.
That's amazing. Let me ask you this, based upon that amazing experience that you have, does a platform do anything to give these actors or actresses advice on their audition, what they did well, what they need to improve on? Does that occur in the platform as well, or is that solely up to the actor or actress?
It doesn't. Sometimes the actor will ask that of their coach or reader. So the actor can say, "Can you give me advice? Can you give me tips?" Otherwise, the platform itself doesn't. And maybe you're thinking, and could AI do that? I occasionally run my auditions through an AI and ask for advice, and sometimes it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah,
But it's a fine line because when you've been in this business so long, there is no right or wrong way to do it.
interesting.
Now you can be good or bad. And if you're an actor listening to this, I say if you are a bad actor, and you should be able to know this, right? Get more training.
Right.
But once you're a good actor, and I'm going to say this carefully, but good enough as well. If you are good enough, and that's probably 50% good, then it's not about that anymore. It's about, do you fit the other character they've already cast? It's about, does the director and producer see you as this role? they've got an idea in their head, and when the right person pops on screen, and that's why when you watch television or film, it's not always the best actor that gets the job. So in that respect, there is no right or wrong way. And there's a lot of people out there in our industry making money by giving advice about, people's tapes or their acting ability. And I'm not saying it's not helpful, but I can give you 100 examples of where that wasn't the thing that didn't get the job, right?
Yeah.
You can absolutely slam dunk an audition, like it can be incredible, and then somebody with more fame gets it than you.
Yeah. I remember one time Matt Damon was being interviewed really early in his acting career. And
Yeah.
he's like, how did you get in here? And I'd be curious to get your thoughts on this. He goes, look, here's the crazy thing. I don't consider myself, and this is after, Good Will Hunting. He's already made it big. He goes, here's the crazy thing. I really don't consider myself a better or worse actor now than when I was a couple of years ago before I got my breaks. And it kind of speaks to, you kind of talked about what you just did, which is they were looking for a specific look, a specific accent, and a specific persona. And he said, I don't think I did a better or worse job auditioning for Good Will Hunting as I did in the other jobs that I auditioned for and didn't get it. And he says, and they said, well, then what encouraged you to keep going? He goes, the first time I got my first callback, even though I didn't get the job or the part, the fact that I was getting callbacks told me that I was at least on the right track. So it really speaks to that, I remember even Garth Brooks was interviewed saying, I really, when I was singing at a honky tonks and, and all these different bars, I consider myself just as good a singer then as I am now. The difference
Mhm.
is, I finally, the right opportunity met the right circumstance and I made it big. So it's interesting that you say that because I've heard a lot of successful actors, entertainers, businessmen say kind of the same thing. And I mean, it kind of speaks to you and your foresight that you created this platform well before COVID, and it's really helped people. And it was, again, the right place at the right time.
Yeah, definitely. The COVID thing helped amplify us because it was a platform ready for that. And also, it's interesting because I had a few people say to me, "Oh, wow, you did all right creating that out of COVID." And I was like, "There's no way we could have created that out of COVID. That was 5 years in the making to get to the point. If you'd
Correct.
scrambled to try and do
Yeah.
that in 9 months, it wouldn't have
Yeah.
happened."
No way.
So you can have those. I don't want to call COVID fortuitous, but it was for the business in that sense, and it was also very helpful to a lot of people that were losing their sense of community there. So that again is one of the successes I'm really proud of. But you're right, but the Matt Damon quote rings true because I remember thinking that the day I booked my first job, that commercial, and I got paid a bunch of money, I was like 16, 17. I was like, I was no better yesterday than today, but today I'm a professional actor.
Yeah.
And that's all it took was one person to be like, here's a big paycheck and you're now on TV. And I do feel like I deserved it, right? I did a good audition and whatever. It's not like that it wasn't like imposter syndrome in that way. But I do remember thinking that all those people that didn't get that job doesn't make them bad, right?
Right.
And then a few years later, I was on a set and there was a younger actor and he was gossiping to me about somebody else. And his kind of his tone was, ugh, that person, they haven't done anything. And why are they even here on this set? And he'd only done a couple of things. And I just looked at him and I said, listen, bro, remember your first job. You'd not done anything that day either,
Yeah.
right? In you hadn't done another. You're making an opinion of them because they don't have a professional credit. Let's help them with their first credit, not talk shit about them. Sorry
Right.
for the
No, no, no,
yeah. Yeah,
no.
but
Perfect.
and I remember thinking that's really interesting because this guy has only got a couple of credits to his name, and already he's like, "Oh, though this person doesn't deserve it." I was like, "That was you 2 credits ago."
Yeah. No, it's
But
interesting. People look at, the big screen, the Clooney's, the the Damons, all the Julia Roberts. What people don't realize, and I'm probably way underestimating this, Darren, I'd be curious to get your thoughts. For every Matt Damon, George Clooney, Julia Roberts, there's what, 50,000 people that are trying to get a job that are maybe not as good, but maybe somewhat close that just
Mm,
hasn't gotten the right opportunity yet. Is that true?
absolutely. More than
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And it sounds like your platform can maybe help those people get the exposure they need for those jobs.
A platform doesn't help you get the exposure. It did at one time. It did. It was giving you access to casting directors, and we were actually during COVID we were running auditions on there because the studios needed an online platform.
Right.
It's moved off of that now. But what our platform does is helps you elevate as an actor, and it helps you build community. So going back to that point of if you're good enough, if you are a good actor, then it's the tiny things you can do by turn the best auditioning you can. And if your acting is of a certain level, but your reader is not great, and that means your acting or the whole scene sounds a little flat, or it's just not going the way you want it, the place you want it to. The casting director or the producer watching that tape should be professional enough, experienced enough to look through that. The truth is, we're either captivated by a scene or we're not. We're
Right.
all human, right? And if your reader is not giving a great performance back to you and not allowing you to elevate yourself from that, then you're asking the person watching it to discount what they're doing and just focus on you.
Correct. Which is hard to
What
do.
why not give yourself the best shot?
Right.
So the way I look at it is when I hire a professional reader and I do my scene in the best way I can do it, then I'm confident I'm putting my tape in as the best I can do.
So your platform really helps the actors and actresses be their best version of
Yes.
themselves during that time, which I mean,
I believe so. Yes.
you cannot ask anything else more out of a platform. Darren,
And also just one point there with the Matt Damon thing. You look at those guys, Matt Damon, George Clooney, everyone's come up together, right? That's the other part of our industry, it's relationships. And you know what? If you read with your mum or your girlfriend every day, you're not building relationships.
no,
If you read with a different actor on our platform every day, you're building community.
that's a great point. And at the end of the day, in our business, we tell our clients all the time, people do business with those they know, like, and trust. And
Mm.
sounds like your industry, my friend, is no different.
It's even more like that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Especially if you're going to recommend somebody and you've read with them and you know that to be a good actor, you're going to think of them. You're like, actually, you should check out Charles. He's really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Darren, if people wanted to learn more about your platform and how it can benefit them, what is the best way for them to do so? And how can they learn more about We Audition?
Just go to weaudition.com. We've got a really informative homepage.
That's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And also our Instagram's kind of fun as well. If you go to our Instagram, you'll see our members, you'll see what they're up to, you'll see the success stories.
I need to do that. I
Yeah.
should be on your Instagram and YouTube for sure.
Yeah. It's just at We Audition, yeah, for the Instagram. And we don't do it anymore, but we've got a podcast on Spotify that has about 30 episodes, which give you a deep dive into different actors and different roles in the industry, like agents, casting directors, publicists. And so it's a real deep dive interview series where you can learn about different aspects of the business as well.
WeAudition.com, at WeAudition on Instagram. Darren, is there anything that we didn't cover today that you would like to mention before we close?
Not from my angle, but really, really thankful that you did this interview with us, and thank you.
Well, Darren, thank you for being our guest on the show. I really, really appreciate it. Congratulations on a successful career. I can't think of any such thing as an indie is easy industry, but you are definitely in one of the most competitive, cutthroats, difficult industries. And for you to have the success you have, really congratulations. And thank you for creating a business that can help actors and actresses elevate their game and be their best version of themselves in an audition. So, from one entrepreneur to the other, I appreciate your efforts, my friend. I know entrepreneurship is not an easy road either. So thank you.
Absolutely. And so, in that note, good luck to you too. And thanks for everything you're doing to help spotlight people like us. Thank you.
My pleasure, Darren. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us today.